Okay, folks. So I can't help thinking that my best contribution to the mess that's in the gambling channels on YouTube is to demonstrate repeatedly that if you bet sensibly, if you bet logically, mathematically, responsibly, you can beat these games. But don't ever get the idea that you can do it on a tin pot, shoestring, shit all, chicken shit, whatever bankroll, because you just can't. Yes, people win with tiny buy-ins, but people win lottery prizes as well, lottery jackpots, and there ain't many of them. So that's how it is. Anyway, double, fantastic double, loved it. Oh dear, 2-3 already. 5-6 already. There we go. All right, so we lent the house 1100 and we got 1250 back in about 45 seconds. So I don't think that's too terrible. I know I keep saying it, but that's how you have to think of it. You know, you're lending the house a little bit of dosh out of the kindness of your heart, and then you get it back. 51. Repeat it. Back to the min. You got to know when you've won enough. One of the many, many big mistakes that the professional losers make is that they're either deliberately or accidentally, because they don't track these things, greedy. And it's just bad form. It doesn't work. +1. I think that was +1. Oh dear. I think it must be another +1 then, isn't it? I'm liking this. But it will not last, as I said. All right, so we'll chase that one.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Alexa, do shut up. All right, now we're on 3-4. 2, 3, 4. Yuck. That's more like it. Very nice up there. Very good. I have witnessed greatness. Is that a repeat? Lost it. 51. Oh, that was nice. Back to the min. Double for the loss. Uh-oh, 1, 2. Well, you got me there, didn't you? 1, 2, 3, 4. They're very hard to beat. Them naturals. 22s, on the other hand, are very, very good. Easy to beat if they're on the dealer's side. Minimum. There's a bunch of guys outside my window who've been whacking away at a car for the last couple of days. Admire people who've got those kind of skills, but boy, they are noisy. Don't like this. I hate to split 8s against 9s and above, but what can you do? Look at that crap. Maybe we'll get our money back. We did. What was that worth? not sure about this. Well, I'm dropping back to the minimum. I think I messed up there. And to you nutcases who think that I manipulate this sim somehow, use your brains. That was lucky. That's a plus, I think. And that's a 1-2. Yeah, that was all I ever knew about cars when I used to try and fix my own back in the day. If it don't work, give it a whack. What was that? Did I win that? I believe I did. I like these 22s he's getting up there. I'm in favour of them. That was a lucky double down, and look what the wizard did to me. That is just so rude. All right, so now we're looking at, I think 2-3, but I'm not absolutely certain about that. Oh, another 22, thank you. All right. I think the game would be much more fun if dealers just got 22 every time. Oh, look what I got. Back to the min. Enough of that, Mr. Wizard. That was jammy. And so was that. Gotta be a min, I think. Double. Ouch. 51. Oops. All right then. A little bit more. All right, serve me right. Okay, so that's 252. I think that's 3-4. Due to my cock up. That's a double. That's a nice one too. I liked it. Sometimes you screw up and you get lucky. Other times you screw up and you get screwed. That's a repeat. 22, 51. Repeat. 1, 2. Double. Boy, that was lucky. You gotta get lucky once in a while. It's a good plan. Double for the loss. Double down. Just made it. Right, I think that's back to the minimum because of the double. We are not greedy. Lousy idea to be greedy. It's almost as bad as being drunk. Double. A very pretty double. Back to the min. You got to know when you've won enough. And that's something that the YouTube pro losers just don't know about. Okay, so we've hit $3,000 plus in just under 10 minutes. And obviously we're going to play on, I think, what was that? Better do it again just in case. Let's call that 1-2. Now 3-4. My 22, 7-8. Ouch! 15-8 dropped to 3. Oh, 18-8. 21-8. All right, we got 6 back there, so that's 15-8, which is 3-2 in 500s. 1-2. 3-4 in 500s. Oh, look at that, the ace got in the way. We'd have had a nice straight flush. 3-4, 3-4, 3-4, 3-4, 3-4, 3-4. That was in 500s, wasn't it? So we're now on 4-5, and we can't make that bet. So I have to run away. All right, so we're at high roller territory. No, middle roller territory. Low roller, middle roller, and high roller. What was it? 4-5? No, 3-4 in thousands, I think, is the bet. That's a tricky one. 3, 4, 7, 8. I like that. I definitely like that. So we will call that a very successful solution to our problem. And got to pause again to go back to the cheap seats. All right, so from time to time I get people saying, you know, that your strategy is worthless because it takes way too much money, it's too dangerous, it's too blah-de-blah-de-blah-de-blah. And yeah, I get that, you know, but the message I'm trying to get across is quite simply, if you don't have the money you need to back your play, you will get your ass kicked. Very, very simple. If you can't afford to win, you shouldn't bet. That's all I'm saying. Is that 1-2? Probably. Ooh. 3-4. We're in the chips now, that's for sure. I won't know for sure until I get to the Excel analysis, but whatever. Oh, that is rude. Is that 11-12? Is that like 2-3 in 500s? I lost it there, sorry. Well, I think that was probably a lucky one, but I think that's what we needed to bet. You know, luck is obviously a factor in these games on both sides, for the dealer as well as for us. And what we have to do is we just have to try as hard as we can to make sure that we have enough money on the table so that if we beat negative expectation, which exists for every single bet, if we beat it, then, oh, look at that. It will do us the most good. But if we don't put enough money out and we hit a winning streak, I mean, John Sirasani is amazing because he hits winning streaks like you wouldn't believe. DJ Dolt is another one, you know, and they just don't do anything with them. Vegas Matt from time to time, I've watched him do 7 or 8 winning bets in a row and make nothing out of it. That's because if they start making something out of it, the casino will get touchy, titchy, pissed off. So, you know. Oh, 3-4. I wasn't expecting that. I thought we were in the chips there. All right, back to the min. Double. Bugger. Double for the push. Repeat it. Double. Back to the min. Oh, I wanted to double that one. Isn't it a good thing I didn't? Double for the loss. Oh, 1, 2. 3, 4. 7, 8. Oh, bugger. I wanted a little one. 15, 8 dropped to 3. Eighteen, 8. Back to 15, 8, which we will call 3, 2 in 500s. 1, 2. Oh, there we go. Well, we made that one, didn't we? I think we're making money this time. I'm not sure we're getting more wins than losses, but we're definitely making some dosh. Nice one up there. Guess you think you're special. 1, 2. Stop whacking that thing, lads, will you? Good God. Ow. Sorry, I've got a little wrist problem here. I guess I'm just a moaner by nature. Oh, I love it. I like to double down 8s against 5s and 6s, and a lot of people don't agree with me. I just think that 8 against a 5 or 6 has got a pretty strong chance, and it's worth taking a shot. But there are never any guarantees, and just remember, every single bet faces the same negative nastiness. You are slightly more likely to lose than to win. Plus 1. $51. Repeat. Oh, you rat bag. How dare you beat my fluke with a fluke? So that 2, 3, I think. Hey. Giddy goody. That's a double. That's a mess. 51. Ah, 1, 2, 3 again. 5, 6. Boy, he's really coming after us now, this Mr. Wiz, isn't he? 11, 6 dropped to 3. Oh, 14, 6. 11, 6. I'm going to go with the 11, 6. 11, 6. We can now go 11, 12. The rule is you don't increase your bet after a push or a tie, except that well, at least when it's over 100, when the bet is over 100, unless you can change the bet from a simple turnaround bet, a simple mid-recovery bet into a turnaround. So that's what we're doing. We're at 11, 6, and now we've doubled it to 11, 12. And all we want to do is win. Oh, I thought we'd got it there. Okay, so 11, 12. So now we're on 2.5, 3 in thousands. Oh, you stinker! 2.5, 3. So we're going to get out of here, and it's going to be 6, 3. Yeah, 6, 3. All right, we got our work cut out now. We're at 6, 3. I'm looking forward to the Excel analysis of this because it might not be very nice. 6, 3 is where we're at. And now 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I got to split those, haven't I? I was going to say, don't you dare get a 5. Okay, well, we've made good money this time. 21, 22 minutes. And I'll be back in a bit with the Excel analysis. Okay, so if you've been here before, you'll know that I'm always kind of disappointed if I get a win, which wasn't also the defeat of negative expectation. But I have no control over these things. There's nothing I can do about it. And here, we had a player edge of 5.9%, 6%, which pattern betting in my usual sort of cack-handed sort of. I try to be perfect, but I'm falling short. I'm very sorry. Every so often I make a stupid mistake. The end of the day, 6% became 33%, not because of my stupid mistakes, but in spite of them. But we did get a boost to 17,300 as a win because we caught a magnificent natural with a very large sum of money out, or was it a split? I don't know, one or the other. Anyway, we had a couple of lucky breaks, and that's what will happen in this game. The dealer will get lucky breaks, you'll get lucky breaks, and you just got to learn to go with the flow, so to speak. This is another one of those situations where around here I might well have bailed out. Not sure about that. It's simply because we started out with 3 wins, a double down on this, and then so those 3 don't count, and so then I'm 3 behind. Maybe I wouldn't have ditched that lot, but it doesn't matter because I can't keep track of that stuff and play in real time. So anyway, that's the picture here on the online reality front. And then pattern betting, this is kind of getting to be a bit of a trend. Did well, but less well. But of course, the algorithm doesn't make the mistakes that I do, and sometimes those mistakes actually pay off. This time, 6%, the player edge, obviously the same outcomes, became 12%, which is good. Average win over average loss, 154%. That's good. Over 50% return on risk, which means, of course, got the risk money back and made decent money. I think that risk looks a bit high actually. 2075 plus 1600, 200 plus 1600, 2700, 2800. So it's actually 5,000. Whoops! What? 10,000, 11,100. So no, it's on the low side. So I'll fix that. 11,100 was the max. It was just an absolutely typical session, really. I mean, what can I tell you? It was good. And we're going to keep seeing those. There's no way around that. Um, it's how it is. But boy, it's very hard to convince people that this is the right thing to do because they're just so kind of like, as I've said before, brainwashed. Let's go and have a look at my old favourite DOD. Will it take us there? Yes, it did. All right. Still running at around 12%. Pattern betting is still running at around 11%. So, they're very similar. But the point is, I bring you back here every time simply to show you, look, there's all these arseholes out there. Sorry, I beg their pardons. Experts. They're not arseholes. They're experts because they say they're experts. Some of them even say they're the best blackjack player the world has ever seen. But basically, they're mathematicians, they're barkers, they're touts, they're mouthpieces. They come out with all this crap about how, well, basically, these games are intended to provide you with fun and excitement and thrills and blah, blah, blah. And yeah, you'll have to leave a bit of money behind at the casino, but it's worth it because of the tremendous time you've had. And it's all absolute BS. But they will keep telling you, and the Vegas Mats and all the others will keep telling you, don't try progressive betting. Oh, no, 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 no. Suicidal, stupid. It'll just cost you all your money. You'll go bankrupt. They don't care that what they're doing is demonstrating to you this is what you need to do to go bankrupt. But of course, they don't go bankrupt because they've got their big fat checks from Google coming in. So it's all such a damn con. That's the way I feel about it anyway. So back to here. Good session, no doubt. I was completely wrong to say that I thought that it was negative. I suppose it's because I came up against GAGs a couple of times, and I just kind of assumed that it must be really shitty, but it was just bad timing, and that happens sometimes. If your timing's off, basically what you're trying to do is you're trying to get into a bit of a groove, to just go nicely sort of trotting along with the flow. You don't have any control over it. You just have to hope for the best. But one of the most important things is you've got to relate your bet values to your total loss to date. Okay, the hole you're in, you're down. Your down is the amount of money you're in the doo-doo, and your out is the full value of your next bet. So if you're in the drop zone, what the out is the full value, whatever it ought to be. And remember, of course, we're rounding up all the time as we go through different increments from 25 increments to hundreds to 500s to thousands or whatever. You keep rounding up so that when you get turnaround, which you almost certainly will, I can't guarantee it, I never could guarantee it, but you almost certainly will. Sometimes you'll have to wait a while, but when you get there, you will make a decent amount of money. And the Vegas Mats and so on love to say about progressive betting, well, who would be crazy enough to bet all that money just to win one unit? You're dead right there, Vegas Matt. Nobody would, and nobody is, And I used to watch martingalers, for want of a better name for them, in casinos all the time, and I reported on it going back 30 years, sort of saying, well, there are these guys that you can see on any busy weekend. Couple of bets on single zero roulette, maybe. Couple of bets on blackjack. Well, no, baccarat is probably the next place they go, or sort of the even money bets at craps or whatever. But they like to end up at blackjack because blackjack offers those little extra bonuses where you can get a natural, which is more money without any increased risk, and also double downs, which is doubling your bet, but you've got a halfway decent chance of making money. So, these guys love to end up at blackjack. And just to demonstrate how real those people are, for the longest time, and it may still be true, I don't know, but they brought in this plan, this new rule, where you couldn't join a blackjack table in mid-shoe. You had to wait for a shuffle. And that was precisely, exactly, and only to stop progressive bettors. But casinos have a basic policy: never tell the idiots the truth. Okay? Tell them that the new version of the game is way better and way more fun. Don't tell them that it's doubled the house advantage. Tell them that we've had to put in 6-5 instead of 3-2 on a natural because of all the other great things that we're offering, like wonderful side bets. the side bets are all horror stories. Don't touch any one of them. And then you'll have somebody like Degen Dolt come along and put down 100 on a side bet and win 1,000 to 1. How often do you think that happens? It's like sort of saying, oh, well, somebody won the lottery last week, so I'm going to spend my life savings on lottery tickets. It doesn't make any sense, but sense is not a big part of most gamblers' thinking process. I'll tell you that much. I know that from all my years in Nevada. Oh my God, what I saw people doing to themselves. And you sort of, you can't interfere unless they ask you, and many, many times I would actually have somebody sort of say to me, because it was a busy time, if I was lucky enough to get into a casino on a weekend, because normally, that wasn't part of the deal with Jenny, she would say, no, weekends are family time. So mostly I was in casinos in the mornings, in the early afternoons, it wasn't busy, blah, blah, blah. But, if you get in there when it's busy, then you're going to end up with other people at the table. I would always try to play heads up if I could, but I didn't hate having other people at the table, but it's quicker, more profitable if you can do just you and the dealer. And people would sort of look at my end of the table. I'd always play third base, and they'd say, well, you're doing very well up there, I mean, what are we doing wrong? And then they'd sort of like, show me a hand and say, what should I do here? And I'd tell them, but I would have to wait until I asked, because that was basically the protocol. If somebody asks you for help, then, I think I only had one or two occasions when I heard a dealer give really bad advice to a player. And then I stepped in and I'd say, no, 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 no. That's a very bad idea. What you need to do is whatever. And on more than one occasion, I said, look, I tell you what, I'll back you on this. If you lose, I'll cover you. Okay. And so, and I didn't have to pay out on any of those occasions, however many there were. I didn't note these things, but it's something that came up every so often. I remember once it was a heavily pregnant young woman who looked like her water could break any second. And she was really being given bad advice. And I don't know what the dealer's motivation was, but it was mean. And I did complain about it to the pit boss. I just said, that was real crap advice. And he said, oh, no, that's by the book. And I said, no, it's not. But anyway, he didn't do anything. I had made my point. But, it's that sort of thing. But you have to have somebody ask you if you've got any good advice for them. And quite often I would help people out of the hole and turn them around and get them towards actually, walking away with more money than they sat down with. So that was always popular. But there is a way to play this game. It isn't the way that the idiots on YouTube do, the professional losers, the Vegas mats with their, I'm going to bet 10,000, whatever, because I've just got 1.5 million or 1.5 zillion or whatever subscribers. No sense to it, no responsibility, no care or concern, because they're bulletproof. They cannot lose, those people. And I really bloody get pissed off when I'm reminded that Vegas Matt's slogan is, my gambling is as real as it gets. Bullshit. Utter bullshit. He's bulletproof. He can't lose. And he bloody well knows it. And, his gambling is fake. So anyway, I think I'm done. I think this was good. I thought it was a bad session. It was actually a player-friendly session. Sometimes I fuck up. What can I tell you? Anyway, that's it.